You got knocked the fuck out!
Well friends, another week, another video, and this week I'm looking at, well, it's Transformers Fall of Cybertron. The sequel to the game I reviewed a couple of weeks ago, and what many consider to be the best Transformers video game of all time. Clearly, as I just said, it is a sequel and takes place after the events of War for Cybertron, and the title suggests the game is based around the Fall of Cybertron, with the war between the Autobots and the Decepticons coming to a head. Though this isn't just a simple Transformers game with a number 2 slapped on it like what we got with those awful Michael Bay films. Though I will repeat myself, there are 2 good live-action Transformers films, and by good I mean viewable. We've also got some refinements in its combat, some new and updated characters and character models, changes to the gameplay and level design, and well, even, if you would believe me, some Transformers. Transformers Fall of Cybertron is a third-person action shooter developed by High Moon Studios and published by Activision. The publishing house that brought you Call of Dudi, not to be confused with the name of this channel, I hate those fucking games, and also the company that ran Blizzard into the ground. Remember Warcraft 3 Reforged? Anyways, back to Transformers Fall of Cybertron. Set after the events of War for Cybertron, with the Autobots creating their famous ship the Ark and preparing to leave Cybertron. However, the Decepticons won't allow the Autobot filth to steal their Energon. You'll start off playing as Bumblebee, who is on the Ark, and this will work as a tutorial, and for some stupid fucking reason, Bumblebee can't talk.
Now, because I'm not a first-generation Transformers fan. I think I was a little old for them.
No shit.
Here you'll learn how to shoot, transform, change view for shooting around corners, and how to use your character's special abilities. Now, the story and structure is different from War for Cybertron. In War, you'll be able to decide if you want to start the game as a Autobot or the Decepticons, where you won't be able to do this in Fall of Cybertron. You'll play through structured and well-written levels as designated characters and factions. The first half of the game you'll be playing as the Autobots, including Optimus Prime, Jazz, Cliffjumper, who is literally a fucking red Bumblebee, and even Grimlock. At the halfway point of the campaign, you'll then start to play as my boys, the Decepticons. Now, unlike War for Cybertron, you won't be able to play this with co-op in mind with friends. Not just because Activision turned the servers offline, but because the game flat out just doesn't have it. Previously, you could play the entire campaign with two buddies and choose your character, but this time around you'll be playing as the characters designated to that level. The level design for Fall of Cybertron is hands down better than War for Cybertron. You'll be defending the Ark alongside Warpath as Optimus 1 level, with Metroplex clearing the way before sneaking around Shockwave's labs as Cliffjumper in stealth missions. You'll even have missions that seem like they've been pulled right out of different properties. One level you'll be playing as Jazz looking for the Dinobots before realizing you're in a hive and you're surrounded by Insecticons, and it feels like you're a Marine in the Xenomorph ambush in Aliens. There's even more references. Like, did you know Transformers Fall of Cybertron is based around the hit TV show from the 80s, The Centurions?
The Centurions!
Unlike the levels in War for Cybertron, when you see the characters that you'll be playing as, you can generally guess what the levels will be like. Playing as Bumblebee in War for Cybertron generally means you're in a city and you're racing around. However, this time around playing as a ground-based character doesn't mean you'll be doing the typical or boring levels. To be fair, there were some boring levels in War for Cybertron. The opening levels from Optimus have a bit of a front line of the battlefield, especially when you have Metroplex providing support. You'll even flat up kill Megatron, which I won't lie, kinda makes me sad. Megatron's my boy. You'll even have platforming levels, stealth missions, and even assault missions trying to destroy a Energon transport.
Well, I'm inspired. Let's hit it, Vortex. After you, blast off. Blast off. Where'd you go?
Halfway through the game, you'll change factions. In the first Decepticon level, you play as one of the Combaticons, Vortex. Not only are we playing as more of a unknown Decepticon characters for those who aren't initiated, but it's also the first aerial-based level of the game. Though compared to War for Cybertron, you'll be playing as a helicopter vehicle rather than playing as a jet like Starscream. But pull the boost button and your helicopter blades will fold back and you'll basically just turn into a jet. Now, the level designs of Vortex isn't too linear like what we got with the War for Cybertron aerial levels. Yes, there are moments where you'll move through guided areas and you'll need to escape an area before a bomb goes off, but between these moments you'll have the freedom to attack these levels from either the ground in robot form or in the air from the sweet helicopter jet hybrid thing. And it also never gets tiring jumping into the air in your robot form, smashing the transform button and seamlessly moving into 3-dimension combat. Without breaking down what happens in every level, because no one's ever going to watch this, but you then move on to one of the coolest levels where the Combaticons combine to form Bruticus, and it's fucking rad. Yes, the level design is simple as fuck and the gameplay is pretty straightforward, but you will 100% feel powerful as you destroy countless Autobots, and by the time you start to get over this pretty simple gameplay, the level's over. Being a Decepticon and playing a Transformers game, it would kinda suck if you couldn't play as Megatron, and, well, you will, even though you literally smashed his head into the ground. You'll even play a micro, mini, macro, whatever the fuck you call it, a small game where you rebuild Megatron, which gives him a new character model as well. Though some people do love this design, where I found the War of Cybertron design a bit better.
Big whoop, want to fight about it?
With Megatron being killed at the start of the game, you've got your standard Starscream wanting to command the Decepticons, and then Megatron comes back and fucks everything up and Bob's your uncle.
Decepticon Interrogator Vortex.
Throughout each level you find these little hub screen stores where you can change out your weapons and unlock perks and increase your health and even refill your health and ammo. You'll also be able to equip weapons from the first game, but there's also some new weapons that you'll not only be able to purchase, but unlock. You'll find weapon schematics hidden in each level, which will let you purchase these weapons in the stores. Upgrading each weapon, like increasing the ammo clip, the reload speed, and so on, will then unlock a secret upgrade that only reveals itself once you've purchased all the other upgrades. For example, this particular weapon's final upgrade now has a blade on the end of it, making melee attacks quicker. To purchase these improvements, you thought I was going to say upgrade, didn't you? You'll need to get energy shards from enemies that you defeat, as well as you find them in these weird Energon briefcases hidden throughout each level. Though it's worth noting you won't be able to unlock every weapon, every upgrade, and every perk on just playthrough, which means there's replay value here that you don't get in War for Cybertron. There's even a sweet retro blaster that will make the pew pew noise, and when you swap weapons it has the OG Transfomers sound. When you kill a filthy Autobot with this weapon, they'll actually evaporate into the air rather than just flat out exploding.
Appropriate demise!
Speaking of sound, Soundwave actually turns into a tape deck in this game. It's pretty rad. The sound and the graphics of this 8-year-old game is still pretty impressive. Sure, don't get me wrong, if you're playing this on a PC and you've got the graphics on low, then the character models will look like crap, but if you're playing this on extra mode, then damn, this bit shines. Here is a side-by-side comparison of low graphics versus the extra graphics. Playing this with a set of headphones, you'll definitely be immersed as well, but you'll be immersed to the levels of 2012's immersed, but it still holds up. Control-wise here, it's basically the same thing what we got in 2010, or basically the same thing that I reviewed a couple of weeks ago. On mouse and keyboard, you use the F button to transform, R to reload, Shift to dodge, C to change arm that your gun is allowed to use to aim around corners. Again, you won't be able to pop into cover, which I find a little strange because you'll be awkwardly hiding around covered boxes. Depending on what character you're playing as for each level, this will change their abilities. Megatron has been upgraded in his new form and he can now jump into the air and hover for a brief period. Hit that button again and Megatron will now slam to the ground, dealing a load of damage. Cliffjumper's levels based all around stealth, and he will be able to turn invisible to sneak up around enemies while Jazz is basically Spider-Manning his way around his map. I did find the controls a little bit loose in vehicle mode when you're playing as a ground vehicle like Jazz or Optimus when you're racing around a map. Not that that really matters though, as this game is a little harder to find now that Activision removed it from all online stores. That's not all though the campaign is fantastic, from the voice acting, the story, and even being more cinematic. The online mode for Fall of Cybertron was pretty straightforward with its team deathmatch and all that sort of crap. However, if you played online, you made your own fucking Transformer. There were 4 classes to pick from, with each class being a different, well, class of vehicle. But with the online servers being, well, turned off and now offline, you can't even go into the menus to show you how cool it was to create your own Transformer. The creator options were so in-depth, it was like creating a Space Marine in... well, Space Marine.
For the Emperor!
Transformers Fall of Cybertron was a fantastic sequel to War of Cybertron that not only improved on its previous entry, and sure, there's no co-op for the campaign, but there was some sweet online modes. Fall of Cybertron was received with positive reviews, and for some weird reason which still mind-fucks me, Activision didn't want to go full steam ahead on a real third entry into the series. Yes, we got the Transformers Rise of the Darkspark bullshit video game that tied into one of Michael Bay's action porn films and this awesome Cybertron universe.
You blew it!
That entry, as you guessed it, was not received so well, and clearly Activision shut this shit down. Now, if you do want more information about Rise of the Darkspark, because I'm not going to fucking talk about it, there is a great What Happened video that I highly recommend watching. The link will be in the description below if you want to check it out. If you're interested in either War or Fall of Cybertron, I'm sure there's ways to acquire it, but a comment, a like, a share, a subscribe would be an awesome way to help me out and my new channel. If there is a game you want me to review, whether it's something rad or something like Cuckold Simulator, thank you for the birthday gift, Shrimp, then hit me up in the comments below.